Bidding process starts out at $1,000 and it increases in increments of $100. So you can't bid $10.50 or $10.25. It's got to go up in increments of 100. And so throughout the process, when you're bidding on a property, you are able to see what the highest bid is placed on that property. And so if the bid is, say, $5,000, you have to bid over $5,000. We do have such thing called proxy bidding, where you can set the highest amount that you would like to bid, so say $10,000, and if the bid goes over $10,000, then your bidding process will stop. But up until the point where it reaches your proxy bid, it'll keep adding $100 in increments up till it reaches that limit for you. One of the cool things about the auction program is that we do totally remove any debris or miscellaneous objects that are left within the house. So any blighted objects, any debris such as appliances, clothing, dead animals that may have crept inside throughout the winter season, we do totally remove all of that internally from the property. We also maintain the property during the summer months, so from April to August, we work with GSD, that's General Service Department. They go out and they mow the yard a couple times, front and the rear, I would say 5 times throughout that period. But when you get the property, it'll be totally removed of any debris internally. And so it'll be clearly vacant. But also within the auction pipeline, we have a document called the Property Condition Report. So this is a document that only refers to that specific auction property. It's only for properties in the auction pipeline. So if you go online and you find a property that you like, you can click on the Property Condition Report. It'll give you a detailed inspection from our in-house team that lets you know the critical areas that need to be revamped and renovated for this parcel. And so that really helps you to identify if this is a feasible project. Also, when you're looking to buy a property, whether it be auction or own it now, we never advocate for you to purchase solely off pictures. So you can go to our website, you can see what the house looks like internally, externally, front, back, rear, the garage, you can see all of that, but we never advocate for you to purchase off pictures. So you definitely want to visit the home. So it's 2 ways you can visit our properties, whether it be auction or own it now. The first is we have open houses. So we have open houses on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. It won't be one on every one of those days, but at least one of those 4 days we'll have an open house where we'll list up to 2 to 12 houses from the hours of 1 to 5 p.m. You can walk through those houses. And we do advise when you walk through the house that you have a general contractor or someone, a licensed builder, someone that works in that realm of work. So, you know, it's things that they can see and point out with their naked eye that you may not be able to. And so moving on to the next program, we have the Own It Now program. And so with the Own It Now program, it's similar to the auction program, being that it does have a bidding style process. But with this program, we'll list a property, it'll have a future sales date, and until that sales date comes, you can't bid on the property. But once the first bid is received, there's a 72-hour window where you can bid on that property. And so we may list a property, say, on Monday. Someone may not bid on that property until the upcoming Thursday, the next week, maybe a month down the line. But once that first bid goes live, there's a 72-hour window where you can bid on that property. However, unlike the auction program, you're not allowed to see what the highest bidder is. So with the Own It Now program, we refer to this as a blind bid, meaning we're asking you to submit your best and available offer. So that's the Own It Now. So auction, again, is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Own It Now is a 72-hour window. You're not allowed to see what the highest bid is. And also, unlike the auction pipeline, with the Own It Now properties, we do not remove any debris internally. So whatever condition the property is in when we receive it during our intake review process is the same way that you'll receive it once you purchase it. I want to note that, you know, all land bank properties, whether it be auction or Own It Now, they are so as is. And by as is, I mean we don't make any renovations to the property. It's totally up to the purchasee to go through and renovate the property to reach compliance. And we're going to talk about compliance in just a bit. But, you know, a couple ways that these are similar is, one, again, they're both online. Everything is all online. You can't call us and say, hey, I want to buy this property. here's my price. You have to wait to the bidding process. Another one is you have to have an account. You have to reach compliance when purchasing from either pipeline. And so we're going to talk about compliance, which is right here on this sheet right here. So once you purchase a property, once you're selected as the winning bidder from either auction or Own It Now, the next step is you'll get a call from our sales and programs team. What they'll do is they'll go over your eligibility to make sure you are who you say you are. Go over your credentials, make sure your ID and your address matches who you are. Then we'll go over the eligibility. So with eligibility, there's a couple areas that people usually get hung up on. One is back taxes. You can't owe any back taxes within the county and within Wayne County when you're looking to purchase a land bank property. So that's only within Wayne County. Another one is blight violations, so blight or code violations. One of the largest misconceptions is that the people that go around giving y'all tickets or giving us tickets for, if our grass is too high, or if our grill is on the front porch, we're grilling, or if it's something obstructing someone walking by on the sidewalk, the blight violations. So that's administered by the City of Detroit, which is BC. That's the department. That's Building Safety, Engineering, and Environmental Department. Another large misconception is that the Detroit Land Bank Authority is city government. So we are not city government. We work closely in conjunction with our city counterparts, but we're a quasi-governmental agency, which means we are part government, part nonprofit. And so although we operate with some of the same abilities as a governmental organization, we are not full city-fledged. And so with that being said, so blight violations and code restrictions, you can't have any active and standing. If you have some in the past, that's perfectly fine. But at the time when you're purchasing, looking to bid on a property, you can't have any active. Another one is compliance. So if you have purchased a property from the land bank in the past, you have to have completed those compliance restrictions or requirements based on the program that you purchased from. So with the auction and Own It Now, compliance is pretty simple. I'm gonna go over that in just a second. But if you've purchased from another pipeline, whether it be a commercial property or something within our marketing or development pipeline where there are specific guidelines within your requirements to complete compliance, you have to have completed those before you can purchase another parcel. And then the third one is, so what we did blight violations, back taxes, what's the other one? Compliance, and what's the third one? So it's blight violations, compliance, back taxes, and bankruptcies, my apologies. So yeah, the third one is bankruptcy. So we got the three main ones are back taxes in Wayne County, blight violations, and then and back taxes. So you can't have any current back taxes owed within Wayne County. You can't have any blight violations in order to purchase from the Detroit Land Bank Authority. And bankruptcies, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that one. That's the third one. So if you have bankruptcies in the past, that's perfectly fine, but at the current time when you're bidding on a parcel, you can't have any active bankruptcies. And so after we go through the eligibility portion within the process, once you rectify those issues, if you have any of those issues, next is the payment portion. So with payment, again, you gotta remember everything is done online. So we do advocate for you all to have a credit card or debit card on file. We do take cashier or money orders. You have to come down physically to the office to make that payment. But if you have a credit card or debit card on file, everything flows a lot more smoothly. After we take the payment, you're forwarded to our closing department. And within closing, there is a couple of documents that we're looking to get from you within 3 business days. One is a signed lead disclosure. The other one is a copy of your identification. And the third one is just the signing of the property that you're looking to purchase. And so once you complete those, you do also have to pay closing costs and fees. And so part of the reason why we come out into the community is we want to be transparent. A lot of people refer to these homes as the $1,000 houses, and they think that's all they got to pay, when it comes to time to closing on the property. But there are closing costs associated. I would say on a typical property from the land bank, closing costs come in around $825, $845 in total. And then after closing, you do receive the deed to the property. But what a lot of people don't know is that you don't receive your release of interest until you complete compliance. So compliance is the main thing that you need to be worried about completing when you purchase a land bank property. And one of the largest misconceptions is that we're only looking to sell you the property so that we can take it back. So within compliance, fine print says you have 6 months to bring the property up to compliance achieved. But I've been with the land bank for 6 years. I've seen people get extensions up to 2 to 3 years. So the important part of the process is you want to stay in constant communication with your compliance rep, your CR. And so we know that these are severely dilapidated properties. We know that the price of lumber and materials are through the roof right now. So we understand that, 6 months may not be achievable for most of our residents, most of our constituents. So if you stay in constant contact with your compliance rep and just let them know, like, hey, I did X and Y and Z, I'm having some financial problems, I'm looking to do this, and a couple months later, they'll give you an extension. Like I said, I've seen people get extensions up into 2 years, sometimes exceeding 2 years. And then also we have an event, which is our largest event of the year. It's a flyer that you all may have seen. Let me see, you got one of these? Can I see this one? So this one right here is our annual compliance fair. We're having one tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it'll be at Northwestern Highway. So if you have purchased a land bank house and you're looking for some resources, come on out to the program. You can meet your compliance rep in person, and you can also fill out a survey to get an extension on our properties. What's that? Northwest Activity Center. Yeah, at the ready. So when I say looking for resources, we're gonna have resources there such as like DTW, DTE, Walker Miller Energy, Home Depot is gonna be there, BC is gonna be there, the assessor's office will be there, Wayne County will be there. And so if you have like any inquiries or anything pertaining to home ownership, it'll be a lot of resources there. Yes, ma'am. So sometimes they give workshops. Sometimes they give little workshops, little breakout sessions. Yeah. And so with compliance, I'm gonna break it down for y'all for the most simplest way. Because a lot of people get caught up on compliance, and this is really what deters people from working with the land bank. So if y'all gonna pay attention to anything, it'll be this. So within the process, like I said, you're given 6 months to bring the property up into compliance. It's not code. Everybody thinks that, oh, I got 6 months to bring my property up to code, which is nearly impossible. So code is enforced again by BC, that's Building Safety, Engineering, and Environmental Department. Compliance, I always refer to compliance as like a mini code. It's not code. So compliance is your opportunity to demonstrate to the land bank that this property is livable. And by livable, I'm gonna break down each element for you all to the simplest form. So you see these dots on the page right here. Really walks you through what you need. So the first 2 things that you need, we're gonna start from left and work our way to the right, is an installed furnace and an installed water heater. So they have to be operable and functional. They can't just be present in the house. We did run through a couple situations where people were reporting to their compliance reps and taking pictures of furnaces and hot water heaters, and then we'd come out and then they'd pull them out of the house and put them in the next one. And so just giving y'all a heads up on that jig is up. So you gotta have operable and functionable water heaters in the property. The other one is a functioning kitchen. So for functioning kitchen, we know you all are you're thrilled to get in there and do your custom designs, but it's certain things that we're looking for so that you can complete compliance. So when it comes to the kitchen, the first thing that we're looking for is somewhere for you to prepare your food. Prepare your food, we mean to physically cook the food. So whether that is a stove, a hot plate, or a microwave, one of the 3 will satisfy that requirement with compliance. The other one is you have to have somewhere to physically clean your food. So you need to have a stove, hot plate, microwave, and a sink. So you gotta have a sink, somewhere to physically rinse your food. So if you have one of those 3 plus a sink, that will meet that requirement. Another one is a functioning bathroom. So we know as well, you all may be thrilled to get in there and put new tile up and, customize the bathroom to how you like it. What we're looking for is to confirm that you have somewhere to physically use the restroom. So that's a toilet. And then somewhere to wash yourself as well. So whether that is a sink, a standing shower, or a tub, or all three. One of those three will help meet that requirement. So again, for the kitchen, we got stove, hot plate, microwave, and the sink. And then for the bathroom, we got sink, standing shower, and tub, and the toilet. So you need one of those three. And then also you need active utilities. So that's water, electric, and gas. They have to be in your name. They got to be working in the property. And then before we get to this last one right here, we're going to skip down to the green section. For doors and windows, you have to have completely removed all boards, all plexiglass from the doors and the windows. So throughout this process, you're sending pictures to your compliance rep. They'll give you a link and you're uploading pictures of the front, the rear, and both sides of the property throughout this process. Like I said, the one thing you want to do is stay in constant communication with your compliance rep. You don't want to ghost them. You want to know, you want to let them know exactly what's going on, even outside of the photos that you uploaded. And then after you get done with all of those, the last thing you want to do is get an inspection from BC. So again, they're coming out to see if you completed the compliance requirements. They're not checking for code restrictions, blight violations, any of that. They're just checking to make sure you've completed everything that's on this paper. And what they do is they reach out to us, confirm that everything is done, and then we reach out to you to give you the release of interest on your property. And then once you have your release of interest, the Detroit Land Bank Authority is no longer involved in the process of you doing whatever you want to do with that property. And so I'm gonna open the floor for some questions. I know you had a question right here.
So what if it's a multi-unit? I have to have a sink and everything in each unit?
In each unit.
And each unit still gotta be compliant?
Yeah, each unit. Yeah.
Raise your hand if you got a question. I'll bring the mic.
Okay, so I did purchase the property through you guys, and I received a tax bill. I am not complete with my compliance yet. Is that something that's normal?
So with the property, did you already submit your property transfer affidavit? So once you submit the property transfer affidavit, it shows with the city's assessor's office that this is your property, and then you'll start to get those tax bills. Yep. And so that's an important thing too, especially when it comes to vacant land, because vacant land is really what's hot right now. Is really what's in demand. And so a lot of people come to our office with questions saying, "Hey, I bought this lot from you all. I might have had it for a year, maybe 2 years, but I'm not getting the tax bill." So what the assessor's office was backed up for a good amount of time due to COVID when it came to verifying, who was the recorder of recording who owned what properties. And so they were behind on recording, more specifically, vacant land titles that were transferred to individuals. But now they've caught up. And so once you purchase vacant land from the Detroit Land Bank Authority, you do have, I believe it's 30 to 60 days to complete the PTA, which is the property transfer affidavit. And if you don't complete the property transfer affidavit, you will receive fees from the assessor's office, and you will receive the taxes as well. And the fees will be greater than the taxes because the taxes on the lot are usually like $35 to $50 a year. So you want to complete that PTA once you purchase the vacant land.
And you, I know you say you have to have utilities. You have to have the utilities turned on. Can you turn them on in the LLC's name, or does it have to be your actual name?
So you can turn it on in your name or the LLC's name. So with the LLC, I was just having chopping it up with somebody over here, and also earlier too. So when you put your home inside of an LLC, we do have vacant land programs. So on the rear end of this flyer right here, it talks about side lots and neighborhood lots, right? So neighborhood lots are the lots that are directly adjacent to your property, touching your property lines. Neighborhood lots are lots that are within 500 feet of your property. You can purchase those for $250. You can purchase side lots for $100. Now, if your property's name is in an LLC, you can purchase the side lots that are adjacent to your property, but you can't purchase neighborhood lots because you have to have a principal residence exemption on your property in order to purchase a neighborhood lot. And if you have an LLC, the two don't coincide. So yeah, no problem.
Can you explain to them a little bit about the Rehab and Ready? The Rehab and Ready program real quick so they'll know about regular purchases and
Yeah. So these two programs that I went over today, the auction and own and now programs, these are programs where we sell our dilapidated properties. So we do have a program known as Rehab and Ready, where we do use a third-party contractor to go out and renovate our properties. And so most of these properties are on the west side, on the east side. Most of them fall around Morningside neighborhood in District 4. In District 4. And so with our Rehab and Ready property, those properties are listed at market value. And so it's pretty much the traditional process when it comes to purchasing a house. It's nothing like this. And so I do have some flyers for Rehab and Ready. I'll spread those out in just a second too.
The reason I brought up Rehab and Ready because the city has already did something to it. They may have put a roof on it, they may have done a porch, finished.
So
the inside of it may be gutted, but the outside damage, you have to pay the city back. What they put $5,000 into the roof, then they're going to put that into the purchase of the house and then whatever the house is valued at.
Right, so the Rehab and Ready, we totally go through and renovate the house. So they also have a sub program too called Rehab and Ready to Renovate. It's like a mini program within inside the rehab program, Rehab and Ready. So Rehab and Ready, we go through and we do the whole crib. We renovate the whole house, top to bottom. We just had one, you all might have seen the announcement, that was totally all electric. It was an all electric home. I think it was our 100th Rehab and Ready sale. But we also have another program called Rehab and Ready to Renovate, where we go inside and we white box the house. So we'll go in and we'll renovate everything, but we won't do any specific customization. It'll be, white. Everything will be white, so you can go in and do your own paint, your own trimmings, and all of that stuff as well. But those properties also go for market value. Yeah. We are hiring contractors. I got some brochures over there that talk about our RFQ process. So if you got a business and you're looking to do some work, I got a link for you.
All right, so with those lots, if you have a property, do you have to be out of compliance, like you already finished everything, in order to purchase the other lots around the home?
Right, so no matter what pipeline you purchase from, whether it's auction, own and now, economic development, real estate, neighborhood lots, create a project, whatever pipeline it is, in order for you to purchase another parcel, whether it be a vacant structure or a vacant lot, you have to have completed compliance on your previous project. Yeah. You had a question?
So let's say you have a property and you know that's owned by the land bank, but it's not coming up for auction yet. What can you do besides waiting to speed up the process? Tell them you're interested.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it's two ways you can look at it. So if it's a property that you know the auction is coming up, but it hasn't arrived yet, you can save that property within your profile so that you'll know when that auction date is coming, whether it's auction or own it now. And then if it's a property that we own but it's not listed for sale, so we got a thing on our website. If you go to buildingdetroit.org, that's our website. It's all over these flyers though, buildingdetroit.org. At the top, one of the options is properties. You just click properties and scroll down to the bottom. There's a tool called the All Listings Map. So we just had this renovated. It was just recently updated. This really puts our inventory at the click of your fingertips. So you can see everything that we own. So the map has a color coding legend. That tells you what property, what pipeline the property is in. So whether it's Rehab and Ready, like we discussed, auction, own it now, side lot, neighborhood lot, create a project, or Rehab and Ready, it'll show you what that color is associated with that property. And so on the map, you can look up any intersection in the city. You can type in a specific address. You can type in a neighborhood name. It'll zoom in into that area. That's essentially how you create your own list of properties, what you want to purchase.
So even if it's not up for auction?
Yep, I got you. So there's also a feature on the map for DLBA unlisted. So light gray and dark gray are either one of them is structures and one of them is vacant land. And so if you find one of those parcels that you're looking to purchase, light gray or dark gray, you can click on that property and leave a purchase inquiry right then and there. That way it's on our radar so we know that someone wants to purchase that property, and then we'll send someone out to vet the property. Once we determine if it can be listed for sale and what pipeline we can push it through, you'll be the first person we contact. So essentially you'll have, heads up on that property to know when it'll be listed for sale.
So it's actually a lot of investors that have actually purchased homes or primary residence. Can you share if they want to put debt on the property, what is a subordination agreement? First question. And then second question is a 4-family property deemed commercial or residential?
So I got to get that first question from you again. But that second question, so we do have properties that are 4 families. We got 2 families, we got 4 families. So most of the time, 4 families are zoned R2 or R3, single family residential, most times. Because even with our side lots program, if you live in a unit that's 4 units or less, you can purchase the side lot. However, you can't purchase the neighborhood lot. And we only allow that for homes that are zoned R2 or R3. So R2 or R3 is single family residential. And those do consist of 4 unit families. What was the first question though?
The first question was regarding a subordination agreement. Can you share what a subordination agreement is?
Right, so the subordination agreement is a little tricky. I had my partner Brittany in here. She was supposed to be here. She's from our real estate team. But I really don't touch on a lot of the real estate aspects because a lot of those are one-off. But I can give you some contact information to somebody who can answer that question for you. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. I'll put you in contact with somebody who can give you that information for sure. Yeah. Is Brittany over there? No. Anybody else got any questions? I'll get them a contact though.
Right. When bidding on the property, if you get the property, will the water department disclose the water line from cutting on?
So I got a flyer over there for that too. So we are going through a process right now to determine which properties have the water lines have been cut. So just to give y'all a backstory on that, before the properties, the dilapidated properties came into the ownership of the DLBA, when they were originally owned by the city, many of them were slated for demolition. And so once a property is slated for demolition, the first thing they do is cut the water line. You gotta cut the water line to prevent further damages. And so when the city was still in ownership of many of these parcels, the water lines were cut, but the properties weren't identified or marked as the water line being cut. So you fast forward 5-10 years later to the DLBA running in full fruition in 2014, we're forwarded these properties. They still haven't been identified for which ones have been cut. So we're going through right now within our inventory. So within our inventory, we only have about 1,700 remaining salvageable properties. So those are properties that will go through auction and own it now. And most of our properties are vacant land. We got about 60,000 plus vacant land parcels. But within the 1,700 structures that we have remaining, we are going through our inventory to see which ones have been cut. But that's the most information I can provide on that. No problem.
I got another question over here, but I just want to.
She had one too.
You dealt with the land bank and you bought a property with the land bank, and he was just explaining the water line. It's going to cost you that property doesn't have a water line that's already been tapped, or water line that's going to it is a minimum of $15,000. If it don't have no water lines on it, it's going to be $30,000. So make sure you check and make sure that the water line already had water to that property. So that's just a heads up.
The property. A lot of houses, some land bank and some not land bank owned, they be under demo list. So you gotta check it. Sometimes the city of trade is not talking to the land bank like they need to, and then I go pull my permit for your plumber and they can't pull it because the house about to be torn down.
Right.
So it's the way to get it all through this process, but always make sure y'all check to make sure that house is not on that demolition list.
Okay, I had a question. My question was, I had purchased a property. I had purchased some duplexes, actually in Sherwood Forest, and I contacted the land bank, and they told me that I could not purchase the lot that was next to my properties, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm not behind on taxes, like it's my property, but the land bank said it wasn't listed for sale, and I was like, well, how do what is the steps, what is the process, and if I have the capital to purchase it, why can't I purchase it?
So in general for lots that are not listed on sale, are not listed for sale, you can still submit a purchase property application. And with the application, you got to submit proof of funds, you got to submit a scope of work, you got to submit design layout. So you got to submit a design layout so we can see exactly what you intend to do with the property. So even if it's not being pushed through a specific pipeline, it's still a way to acquire the lot. But in your case, you're saying it's not being listed. I can pull up your address and look, but I can't give you a concrete answer based on, the circumstances. I would really have to look up your address, look up the lots, see what pipeline the lots are in, but it won't take long enough. So if you're gonna be around.
Okay, I have a question right here. I have a nonprofit, and I want to purchase some land in a certain area that's designed for development. But I already own a couple plots on that block. No developer has had any interest in 2 years in this area. But if I create a project through that program, don't y'all supposed to take the next available project or something like that?
So the CAP project program, which is Creative Project, is really for land beautification projects. It's really for land beautification projects. So it's not really for development. So with the program, if you got an LLC or you registered with Laura any type of way, LLC, or you got a 501c3 nonprofit organization, you can purchase up to 4 lots within your community boundaries that you service. Usually they have to be contiguous, meaning they're all lined up. We've had some cases where you got 2 on one corner, 2 on another corner, or either 4 on, 1 on all 4 corners. But that pipeline really isn't for development. And so if you're looking to develop on vacant land, you would have to submit a purchase property application.
No, I'm not trying to develop one. They said that this particular area is only for development, and they want developers over here.
Okay.
No, that showed any interest in 2. So why can't I buy? So like you said, the 3 lots is next to the one I already own.
We can take a look at it again. I can't give you specifics based off the lots. Brittany not here. No, Brittany not here. She might be here, but that's your the project manager. Yeah, she might be here in a little while though. She might be here.
I got a question.
I own like 4 lots. 4. Then every time one was available, I kept buying, right? I want to know, can someone tell me, or can I find out where my property rights are?
So that would be the assessor's office. You can also, you ever heard of Parcel Viewer?
Yes.
So you can also pull up Parcel Viewer to get a good outline to see exactly like where your property line stops. But if you want specific details, you got to go down to the assessor's office. Whether it's property you purchased from the land bank or not.
Okay, so somebody will come and show me, or do I have to do it myself? Or do I
No,
have to measure it?
so you would need to schedule an appointment with the assessor's office within the city of Detroit. They're in the Coleman A. Young building, and then they will send somebody out. You don't have to do it yourself. Yeah, I'm sure. For sure.
Just to clarify on your question regarding the assessors and the property, you also want to contact the surveyor and have them come out. If it's vacant land, you want to have them do an alter survey because you use true property line dimensions. If it's a house, you can have them do a mortgage report. So that's just contacting the surveyor.
Just for a second, this is one of our business partners, Emma. Everybody know Emma? Some people don't. But she's the owner and CEO of Detroit Escrow Title and Escrow. She's one of them. Anything title related, anything getting properties together, anything about purchasing land bank or residential commercial properties, She's our go-to. She handles everything. So I'm going to hand the mic to her, let her introduce herself real quick because she just got here. So bear with me.
What up, though, Detroit? Like I said, y'all, fill the room, pack the house, game on, in the rain. That's what we talk about in this. That's what we're talking about. It's really appreciate you guys come out, take advantage of the opportunity. Like I said on my phone, like Anthony said, like Deshawn said, let's quit assuming, let's quit guessing, let's quit speculating, let's quit wondering, let's get the source in the room, get your questions, and get them answered. That way, when you make your next move, your real estate investments with the land bank, you're prepared. You've done your due diligence, you know what you can do, you know what you cannot do. Don't have those questions, you're able to tell us, so that's when you come to us and Detroit Title Investment. Like Deshawn said, I am one of the owners, and 26 plus years. One of my primary things is making sure that I set you up for success. So if I don't have the answer, I'm gonna get the answer, when you go there, you get ready to buy in or sell that property, have what you can, so that you don't lose out on your investment. It's because we want to move out for our great city. It's all about bringing business, generational wealth, and everything else. Plus education in our city of Detroit. Y'all showed up tonight. I appreciate it. My apologies for being late, but I'm here now. I don't want to take over because you know I can talk all night long.
Can I see that event flyer on there? I'll get right back.
Deal with the source. You guys have any questions or something you can't answer or real estate related? Thank you again. One more time. What up, now, Detroit?
See if there's a developer trying to get that land.
For the land bank?
Yeah.
We're going to do it
So
for you.
I have a
We'll do it
question
for you.
about the interest
That's,
that
you
you
know what I'm
mentioned
saying?
accruing during the 6-month period of us working on the property. If you pay out the property in full, what is the interest based on?
So can you repeat that?
So if you say the property is $12,000, you pay that in full. What is the interest based on in that 6-month period if it's accruing interest until you get up to compliance?
What do you mean? So, yeah. So when you're in compliance, when you say accruing interest, what do you?
Are you not paying interest?
No, that's all good.
Alright, so the interest part would be like if she had a loan on the house, you would be paying interest to whoever your hard money is on the bank. So their interest is that you bought this house from them in agreement saying that you're gonna bring it up to whatever code and everything in compliance. Once you put up the code, they're gonna send you a statement, a letter saying, okay, this house is in compliance, you good to go, you can sell it, keep it, right, the interest of the ownership is officially yours. Cause just cause you bought it and don't put it in compliance, the land bank will take that house back.
Right.
So, yeah. Right, different, comprehension.
Right, and also with these two programs, auction and owning now, the banks won't give a loan for either one of these. You know, the properties are severely dilapidated, so they're not gonna give you a loan to take out to make a bid.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you see a property on Zillow that the bank owns, what would that program be?
So more than likely it'll be either economic development or something within our marketing pipeline. Yeah. We do have a small inventory of commercial properties. So a lot of people don't know the difference between the DLBA, which is the Detroit Land Bank Authority, and the DBA, which is the Detroit Building Authority, is that 95% of the commercial properties are routed to the DBA. And so we may get about 5% of those properties. So our inventory of commercial properties are very slim to none. Yeah, but we do have marketed properties, the economic development pipeline.
So my question is in line with what the young lady was asking. I own the property, I own the lot next to the property that I own. There is a lot that was just demoed and I'm not sure, I inquired about it. But I guess my question is, if I own the property, there is no outstanding taxes, liens, or anything on my property, why the inquiry, like into my finances and different things like that, if I'm already maintaining my personal property with no delinquencies and I guess
So what's the question?
I own no taxes, you know, everything's outright, but there's these requirements. I understand the purchase property application, you want the design layout, you want my finances. Why?
So you're talking about when you purchase
neighborhood
property.
lot.
Okay. Oh, so with neighborhood lots, you don't need any of that. So for neighborhood lots, you simply go to our website. You go to properties.
Sidebars down a little bit. That's getting kind of hard.
So for neighborhood lots, you go to our website. You go to properties. Under properties, you go to neighborhood lots. Scroll down to the bottom. You put your address in. All the lots within 500 feet are populated. So within a calendar year, you can purchase 2 of those in 1 calendar year. And those are the lots that are within 500 feet. So 500 feet in the city of Detroit is typically a block to a block and a half away. And so what we do is we give a first crack at the adjacent neighbors. So we list it as a side lot first. So after 180 days, if no one wants to purchase that lot that's directly adjacent, meaning touching their property lines, then it graduates to the neighborhood lots program. When it graduates, 2 things happen simultaneously. The first is adjacency increases, so you don't have to live right next to it. You can live within 500 feet. That includes lots across the street, around the corner. Hello, hello. All right. So that includes lots across the street, around the corner, as long as it's within 500 feet. And then also the second thing that happens simultaneously is the price increases. So side lots are $100, neighborhood lots are $250. And again, with side lots, so say you live in a home, you got a vacant house, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, 3 to the rear. If you fall in that criteria, and these are listed as side lots, given the city doesn't have a hold, so that's another large misconception, is that there are hold areas within the city where there are restrictions on what type of lots we can sell, whether that be side lots or neighborhood lots. So if it's no hold in the area, I'll get back to the misconception. The misconception is the city department may own the hold, but we'll own the lots. So say, for example, in D7, D1, you got Brightmoor. DWSD has a large hold over a lot of those lots, and so we own them, but we can't sell them until we get clearance from DWSD. So it might be a neighborhood lot that's within 500 feet of your lot, and you looking to purchase that lot. In that situation, we would have to go to DWSD first and say, hey, we got, Ashley wants to purchase this lot. This is what she wants to do with it. Can you remove the hold? And they give us the yay or nay, and then we come back to you and say, we can sell this as a side lot or a neighborhood lot. And so with the neighborhood lot, what I was getting to, it goes off your address. And so it's no purchase property application. You just go online, you click the 2 or the 1 that you want to purchase, and then an automated email goes out to all of the endorsers in the area. So we got neighborhood lot endorsers. They really don't have an option. They don't have an option to decline, but they have an option to ignore it. So you got to get an approval from an endorser within 60 days. And then if you don't get one, then you start over from square one. But if you get one, you just move on to the process. Yeah, so it's real simple.
So, question I have, if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Question I have, I got 4 lots that are on the block that I own a house, right? My family owned the house forever. My family owned the house forever.
Yeah.
I got 4 empty lots that's on the block. The house that I own outright, right?
Right.
So are you telling me that I can only purchase 2 of those 4 lots on the block that I stay on? If I want to build brand new houses on those lots?
So it depends. So are both of the lots directly adjacent to your property? They just own your block.
They're on my block. They're within the same vicinity. But
Right.
I plan to purchase all 4 of them.
So
To build brand new homes.
So with neighborhood lots, you can only purchase 2 a year.
2 a year.
Yeah, so you only purchase. So if you want to purchase the other 2, you can submit a purchase property application. But the only thing is, so say you're eligible to get 2 of those lots through neighborhood lots program. So that's 2 for $250. So that's $500 you would pay for those lots. But then the other 2 you have to submit an application, and those are going to go at market rate.
So would you, so just for my opinion, would you think that's making all of this room hard for us to develop our own property, develop our own gentrification?
So are you referring to the fact that you can only purchase 2 a year?
Pretty much. Because
So
if I got X amount of credit and I got X amount of dollars and I see properties, you tell me I have to wait for them to come available and I have to wait to be able to purchase a amount of land to basically build their properties.
right.
But if
So
the whole corporation company comes in, they can buy as much as they want to develop.
But they still got to submit an application too. They still got to submit an application, just like you got to submit your application.
So, what is, how many people in here got LLCs? Almost majority of everybody here. So, LLC, are you a separate entity? Are you a separate entity? So if you buy 2 lots, who else can buy 2 lots? I think you can put in an exception to, I forgot what it's called. You can, like I said, if you wrong on, you can choose for the person. Yeah.
So real quick, I'm LA. Quick question. Shipping containers.
Okay.
Shipping containers.
Okay.
Are they allowed or not in a residential area? I have 2 vacant lots that I own right across the street from my house.
Right.
I'm right here on Illinois and Linden.
Okay.
Lot been vacant for like 2 years straight. I thought somebody owned it. I was the only person on the block, and I just decided to call you guys, land bank. So when I called you guys, I found out 2 years later that it was available. All these people on the block been there 30 years. I'm the new girl on the block. I waited until year 2 to inquire about the 2 vacant lots. They're together right next to each other, 2 different addresses. So I end up purchasing it, deal with that, obtain it, I own it, I have the deed. I bought a shipping container. I just wanted a shipping container. I bought it, had it towed there, put it in my lot, had it there probably maybe almost a year. And I started working on it myself. I started putting up walls, I did all the framework inside of my shipping container because I wanted a she shed in my vacant lot that I own. I guess once everyone started seeing me doing all the work and just seeing me coming from Home Depot with all this wood and stuff on my truck, somebody called the Trade Land Bank, and as soon as I got done with my she shed, I got it insulated and everything. Only thing I didn't have was power, and I was working on that. They made me take it off the lot, and they said they made me take it out the lot. They told me that I had to remove it, so I had to break down my fence that I put up, and they made me take it out.
Who told you that?
The city told me that I had to take out the shipping container. My question is, I'm a part of a block club. Everything I do on my own. I do have a block club. The Soto Block Club is near where my property is located at. They have a shipping container, and they have a rat wall under the shipping container. Now, the only part that I did not have, because I didn't know that I had to do it, I didn't have a rat wall under my 40-foot long shipping container. Now, I want to know what's the difference between a block club having a shipping container that was 20 feet long, and then I got my 40-foot long shipping container, but I didn't have a rat wall. My thing is, I still have my shipping container. I just have it at a commercial property that one of my associates own. But I want my shipping container back where I put it at because I bought it to get placed there for a reason. What do I have to do, and what do I have to label my lot as to get my property back that I invested in?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't have an answer for the shipping container. If the city told you, but if the city told you to remove it, that more than likely came from VC. Again, we not the city, so that notice wouldn't have come from us to remove a shipping container off a vacant land parcel that we sold to you. Once we sell you the lot and you have the deed, it's yours to do what you wish with it. So, yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna talk about the shipping container. What do I have to do to make my lot eligible to build a tiny house on? Who do I make an appointment with?
So they're already, so when you purchase the lots from the land bank, so all of our vacant lots are already zoned R2, R3. R2, R3 is single family residential. So they're already zoned for you to build and develop on. Single family houses.
Is there someone that I can meet with that have available package that on on what it is I need to do to obtain a proper architect, to go out the designs. I need to step by step. It's by myself, so I need help, and I'm here.
I mean.
Okay, but I'm talking to the host right now.
Yeah, so we.
Many of these people that are in this room right now, right? It's too many people that go shopping and spend thousands of dollars on maintenance, clothes, jewelry, whatever the case may be. Y'all want the city sold and built, correct? So don't you think it'll be easy if it's on the market of just saying, hey, this is what we'll sell, hey, this is what we'll sell. If you put 100 houses on sale right now, online, for $1,000, those 100 houses will sit on top. And then you can go into a person's credentials to see if and check their plans if either approved or not. The way that I'm hearing this right now, y'all making it extra difficult. So who's behind you? So okay, cool. So who's behind you? Because from what I'm developing right now, I got 6 on a lot of things. What this young man is saying right here, that he said that you don't own y'all don't own the houses because there's two people that own the lots. That's what I'm saying?
No, what?
I'm saying something about that. It's 2 entities that own the lots that you gotta go, that a person has to go to.
No. I'm saying some lots are in hold areas. Some lots are in hold areas throughout the city. And if they're in the hold area, we have to go who's holding the property.
Right. So
right. But that's not every lot. We got 60,000 lots.
Right.
60,000 ain't in hold.
And I hear you, but
right.
There's 60,000 people in Detroit that
right.
got $1,000 apiece, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is that if y'all want these houses sold, if y'all want this property developed, there's numerous amounts of people in this room that got credit and got cash, right?
Right.
So if the city wants these houses sold, then why is it so much red tape to buy property or buy?
So a lot of the checks and balances are in place so developers don't come in and snatch up the properties. So just as easy. But I'm saying just as easily as you saying, you got 100 people in this room, right? Say we went and listed 100 properties for $1,000 because it's 100 people in this room. That don't mean somebody from China can't come over and swap up all them parcels. You get what I'm saying? Somebody from San Fran can't come and snatch up all the parcels. No, the stipulation is to protect everybody.
So let me address. Excuse me, can y'all keep the sidebars down so everybody can hear them? Can you hear me fine? Yeah, you can hear me. All right, so this is for her question as far as the shipping containers are concerned. We build shipping container companies. So 3 skid, that's what we do. As far as you putting that 40-footer on your property, because it never was inspected, because the first thing you said was you started doing your own work, right? Because it's considered a dwelling and it's not considered landscaping, landscaping is considered a permanent dwelling, so you have to have a slab. You have to put that container on the slab, right? And just like a regular dwelling, you still have to have inspection of your plumbing, your electrical, your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, all that stuff still has to be permanent. So they say it's like you go in and did it yourself, which is fine, but because it's a 40-foot container, that's why it's so heavy, you can put it on your own property, they still don't want it. That's how they make it. But if you want, give me, and I'll make sure that you get your container back in there. If you have anything plumbing, if you got plumbing going into that spot, water, or you'll have to get your electrical, it still has to be inspected. But you can get this, you have to get a slab, and then they still have to come out and inspect it. But you can actually absolutely. Now, the reason they were able to put it, the other in your neighborhood was able to put a slab in it, they probably are non-profit. So some non-profits have exemptions that they use for storage, like for the farm gardens and stuff like that. But you can get variance for that too. You just have to have it. But you can actually we do Detroit Shipping Company. Everybody familiar with Detroit Shipping Company? So we did that. We have 16 projects underway right now. 3 Squared Architecture. So we're the one. Our Bible Center is right there on Trumbull and Pine, right there by Motor City Casino. Everybody in here can get with me afterwards, and we get tours of our. It's 3 stores. We looked at our 9 shipping containers. Detroit Shipping Company, the farmers market. So give me anything we will deal with the municipality because we have 100% approval right now. So just ask us a question. We'll give you the consultation, and then you can take it from there. Now, what architect? We're an architecture firm. That's what we are. We're full-fledged architecture firms. Absolutely. So anything you want to do as far as any municipality, or give me, give Emma, give Asia, and we'll make sure we walk you step by step through how to get your property approved and make sure that you're cut through. Now, when you were saying about the red tape part is the city. There was a lot of investors coming in. You correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
A lot of investors were coming in from out of town buying massive properties, massive. So what they wanted to do was put a stop to it for a second and give us the opportunity to go out and buy those lots. Well, they did that, and then what happened? Nobody went and bought the lots, right? So now the rule was you hold the property, right? 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 3 to the back.
Whatever y'all want. I'm going off y'all floor. Whatever y'all want.
Yeah, so,
and I'll be here, so if anybody got one-on-one questions. And I got my computer too.
yeah.
Huh?
That way they can network a little bit more, back up the bullshit.
I'm okay.
It's starting to make sense.
All right, Detroit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. That don't mean you got to leave, because I'm sure you still got a ton of questions and conversations and connections and phone points and all that. But what we want to do is, first off, if I can't have your attention, London took time out of his schedule, knew he was going to come to the hot spot. Y'all didn't even give him a chair. And he answered almost all the questions that he could, and I would like to thank him for that. And I'm hopeful that with you being prepared with your questions and him being prepared to give you the answers and the handouts and referring you to different divisions, it gives you a better insight on how to make your moves when you say, I'm going to purchase a land bank home. You know, if not, you know where to find it. But with that being said, again, we thank you. You don't have to leave. You can keep the drinks flowing. You can keep the pizza flowing. You can keep the questions going. But we just want to open it up for just basic networking. And Dr. London, myself, Asia, whomever, will be around.
So, does Brittany have the capability of saying, well, I don't want that to be done in this area, or is it just you have to follow the rules, or how? Because she basically told me. So now I'm gonna put. I bought. When she told me that my plotted plan wasn't good enough, I bought some shipping containers. I bought some tiny homes.
Oh, no problem, bro.
Yeah, sure. I bought some tiny homes. So what do I have to do to get that done? Because I looked it up, honestly. Nobody.
So you already purchased?
I already purchased
from the land bank?
No, I just bought 4 lots on the street, and then I see the land bank own the ones in between.
Are you trying to buy the ones in between?
Yes. Okay. Create a project. So I done submitted everything. But she called me like, I want this land to be developed. And I'm like, nobody came over, and this is what I submitted at first. Okay. And then she like, I don't want that over there, I want it to be developed, and it's on Hendricks, right off Gratiot. And these were the lots I wanted to buy. Okay. So I own everyone in between here.
So Brittany herself doesn't have the authority to say, like, she wants something specific. It's pretty much going off of, you know,
I really don't know where that's coming from.
Is she like the head, or who's her supervisor?
She got a supervisor named Martina.
Martina?
Yeah, Martina Orange.
Okay, because I looked it up. I even submitted it for you. I just want to see what you're going to say. I submitted it for you, and nobody has even had any interest in these lands in 2.5 years.
So send me an email with the addresses and everything, and I'll chop it up with Martina. As a matter of fact, I'll give you my go to your camera one time.
Then she told me something like, we want $160,000, so I went and got a cashier's check for it. And she's trying to see if she's trying to call my bluff. I'm like, shit, I want it.
So internet out of everything. You got it. Go all the way down. Create new content. That's in your phone. Yeah, send me that info.
I'm sorry. I had a question. LLC buying neighborhood lots.
Is that okay?
Yeah. You said no. What did you say about neighborhood lots?
I already said something about LLCs buying neighborhood lots, but when I tried to do it, they told me that you can't do that.
So LLCs can buy side lots, not neighborhood lots.
You said with LLC we can buy side lots, not neighborhood houses?
Yeah.
Okay. But I did want to go into, I did go to the city. They said they wouldn't do the survey. I had to call the surveyor. She right.
Yeah.
The survey costs $1,500.
Oh, damn.
Why the city won't do that for us? They're not helping us.
I be trying to tell people all the time. If I knew, I would tell you.
I know. So they're not really helping us. But anyway, I ain't gonna stop. I got some more to buy.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, CEO, you do a good job.
Oh, thank you.
I see them when they come up to the planning and development. They were trying to get their MOU cleared again.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. So going back to that was a real tricky question. I was surprised you was able to recite that regarding R2 to R3.
Yeah.
So take me back to the top of that because I have a core family, principal residence. Actually, it wasn't bought from the land bank. Previous owners had went through the compliance period. They got it cleared, right? Okay. I was able to buy the first 2 lots. So now when I'm getting into the 3rd, 4th lot, all within 500 feet as well. Matter of fact, I think somebody kind of got in trouble. I got an email that said, yeah, you can purchase the other 8 or 10 lots. I know I've been following the land bank back in the day when Craig Foley was on the executive board when it was the Wild Wild West before it all moved. And I noticed things changed, but take me back over that again because I noticed you said if it's in a R3 or R2.
So R2, R3 is zone residential, single family residential. So I'll show you. So
guess what?
What?
Mine's is in the R2.
R2.
So that would mean.
Trying to see if it said on here.
It's in a single family.
It don't say it on here, but for side lots, you can have 4 units or less. So to purchase a side lot, right? To purchase a side lot, you can live in a property that has 4 units or less.